Hey DeRacers, Ben here. Mark is traveling with family, so I'm going to be doing these solo for the next couple weeks. In the last video, we were talking about the Gen 1 tournament, our strategy going into it, and one of the challenges that we had was our horse had yet to be bred until I think it was day 3 or day 4 of the week-long discovery. So that meant that Mark and I, we did not have as much time to go through and test the tracks to discover where our horse was going to do well. Tika, I got her shown here. Great job. Congrats to Antibug, aka Tony. We'll be interviewing him later this week, talking about his strategy and a lot of other perspectives on D-Race as a whole. So now switching over to the fourth place, something about this horse that was just an enormous letdown to us was it struggled to get first place. So you'll notice here that inside the stats, we got 22 first place, 27 second, 30 thirds out of 356 races. Now there's a couple things about that that are problematic that we've noticed watching our horses is, first of all, your first place should be more than your second and or your third. So if I flip back over to Tika, you'll notice that Tika has more firsts than seconds and more seconds than third. That's a really good indicator that you have a horse that wants to win. Fourth place, just realistically wanted to be in fourth place. It was a letdown. So inside our strategy, when we were going through the whole entire discovery stage, what we were trying to do was play a lot of defense. So on the far right hand side, this is what we were looking at when we were studying everybody's horses. We're happy to predict that we did think that 13s and 14s of Tika was going to be a strong spot. We thought G-Spot was going to really do well on Synth 6. And as we were laying this out, we were looking at our horses shown over here as to where we thought we could play defense. I got to give a shout out to Super Jockey and his bot. That was awesome for us. What was great here is we were able to take the horses that we knew that were really strong getting first place. We disconnected the bot from any of the second, thirds, and below. We wanted to put the high potency of our strongest horses on their specific traits in order to take away anybody's chances of getting first place. So you'll notice that like Gormo holding an 18.18% first place position on Synth 11s, that was a strong one for us to block. So if anybody, your horses were going on that one, you probably ran up against Gormo quite a bit. This was actually a very good part of our strategy. We joked about making a montage of all the blocks that we had. That was like the only thing that was really working for us, because fourth place, even though we tried to put fourth place in with our donkeys and we specifically picked out the worst horses in our stable to go in with fourth place, we were blocking out 6-7 spots, so there was only 3 or 4 competitors that would even show up, and fourth place still couldn't do it. It was quite irritating. Going over to fourth place as a whole, if I switch over here, you're going to see a little bit of our strategy. We thought, because Skondert was so strong on turf, same as Burra, both of the parents, we thought that fourth place, this was her best chance. So we were targeting 6, 7, 8s out the gate. 7s and 8s were holding about a 30% podium rate. The more we hit it, it started to slip, and the first place positions just weren't doing it for us. So the hard part with this was we were doing some decent podiuming, but it wasn't getting us where we needed to be. We were watching the competition very specifically nail their first place positions, growing their score, where fourth place just couldn't seem to pull it off. We were then started to do scattershotting. So after a couple of days of targeting where we thought she would be strong and finding out that it wasn't where it needed to be, I think we were slipping down to 30th out of 59 horses, and we knew that we had to discover a spot to get in first place. And our strategy at that point was more of desperation. We had to find a furlong in a hippodrome that we had a chance, and then we were just going to set it on the bot and just try to hammer all day long. We thought we had potential, and when I switch over here to synthetic 2s, this is just sucks, is you'll notice that we ran 30 different tracks on synthetic 2s. Not a single first place, but 20% of those were in second place. It was excruciating. She just kept running and just would give up the end. And we just watched her just give away first place over and over and over again. And we realized it was just not going to work. So fourth place, it was just a dud. It was unfortunate. It's the fourth breed that we've been pulling off with some of these genes. We're hoping that that was going to be a good one, but it just couldn't do the work. So then flipping over to a couple different things that I wanted to bring up is looking at some of the stats that are available to everybody rather than just looking at our analytical tools. This is again deracing.org on the horse stats page, and here we're looking at fourth place. And so you'll notice over on the far right hand side, my favorite indicator that they have is this average versus the population average. So this is going to compare every single horse that has raced, find their averages, and then take your horse and compare it against the global average to see how does it fare. And so one thing that I look for is how many tracks can your horse beat the average. Doesn't mean that it's great, but at least it's better than average. So fourth place, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. Compare that to Skondert. Skondert has 19. So when you have one parent that has 19, I think Burra is similar, 18 or 19, and then their child has half. It's just an indicator that this horse is not getting the genes that we wanted to from the parents. Just all in all, big letdown. The second one that I like to look for is the profit per race. As you can see, Skondert can actually pay the bills. And I go over to fourth place. My best track is breaking even at 0. Everything else is nothing but losses. So I've raced this horse 356 times, lost every single one of it. So you're all welcome to the DERC that I've just been passing out. This horse is definitely getting burned as soon as V2 shows up. I'm going to convert her into whatever. I don't care how crappy the reward might be. This horse is dead to me. So that was unfortunate. Now, going over to a couple other things that I want to talk about is now the breeding part of this. The Gen 1 tournament to me was a giant eye-awakening experience. The whole concept of this, and from my perspective, I see DeRacing as a breeding game. As we breed and we start to get the best genes from each of the parents, each generational increment should, in theory, have a better top end of the genes. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of a document. I put this on Discord as well. There's nothing proprietary about this at all. This is what and how genetic algorithms work when it comes to breeding. This is how it works in life too. So in this example, we got a stallion, we got the mare, arbitrarily created some generic numbers. So these numbers mean nothing. This is just how I'm just visualizing this. So we know from DeRace that speed, stamina, and reaction are the 3 main traits of each horse, and they say that there's others that don't have as much of an impact, but now they've only written about speed and stamina. I have a lot of theories on reaction. I'm really hoping that DeRace will publish something and give us more meat so we can understand what reaction is, because I don't know if reaction is time out the gate. How does your horse react to other horses? How does your horse react to almost closing? Reaction is such a vague word to me. I feel like there could be characteristics about this that are really important. Somebody has previously asked me, why do I get nervous about the thought of burning a Gen 0 horse? The reason I say that is because to me, I think the gene pool is what's so important about all of this. And if we don't understand what these traits are and we burn it, we as a community, if we accidentally extinct out some of the traits that we like, we're just going to have limitations to what we can grow these horses to be. Now, going back to this example, the way that this should work is that a trait is going to be taken from the mare and a trait's going to be taken from the stallion. I believe RNG is going to simply pick which one it is. But in this example, you could see that the stallion only really delivers the good traits of stamina, where the mare delivers both on speed and reaction. So the best case scenario would be that the child from these parents would be taking the speed, the reaction, the stamina, the best of the best. This would lead to an improved horse. Your Gen 1 would be better. On the worst case scenario, you take all of the worst cases. Now, both of those should be equally difficult to achieve due to the combinations and just regular statistics. It's about a 5% chance that you're going to get the extreme good versus the extreme bad. Now, DeRace has published that not only do these traits get passed on, but there's a 5% up or down. What I don't know is if that's a hard 5% or if it's a range. So can you get an improvement of just 1%, or is it always going to be a 5% up or down? The other thing I don't know is, does that 5% get applied to all 3 traits equally? Or might it be 5% bump on one, 5% negative bump on another, 5% bump on the third? So there's going to be a lot more complexity. And so for that, as I start to imagine what does the super baby versus a super donkey look like, there's still much to be discovered. I spent the last week, I downloaded 111,000 lines of race data, and I processed it through our system, and I'm now doing an extensive research on Gen 1 babies, and I'm trying to do some DNA analysis to understand what really is needed to be done. How many times do you need to breed to get these horses to be dialed in? But going back now, we have V2 that's coming out exactly 1 week from today. So it's June 22nd as of now. V2 has been, they tweeted that 629 is going to happen. So hopefully they nail on that. Now V2 is supposed to come with the disconnection of relying on Polygon for every single race registration. So we're going to be able to have a lot faster engagement with that. We're going to have faster breeding. We're also going to be seeing the introduction of chests and achievements and missions. So the goal is with V2, we're going to get a much faster growth of community because there's going to be a lot less challenges. It should be a lot smoother process to run. Really excited to see this. The other part that's coming with V2 is the ability to burn NFTs. So as we're looking at the genetic algorithm and recognizing that some horses are going to come out far worse than the parents, to me, those are going to be great culprits to be burned. Convert them into whatever you have. But if I'm looking at this, if you have a 5% chance of getting the best traits, that means, of course, you have a 50% chance of finding yourself perfectly in the middle. So I think a lot of times when you breed, you're just going to get this just plain middle ground. That'd be my guess. And if I'm going to go and breed my horses to try to evolve my gene pool, right down the middle to me is not what I want. I'm looking for the super champions. I'm really excited by the thought that Gen 1s are going to be superior to Gen 0s, 2s superior to 1s, 3s, etc. As we go down that gene pool, I think that the Gen 3 horses, when we finally see them, are going to be scary, scary fast. So the tournament put on by the DERC Army, well done to those guys. It was a lot of fun, just everything about it. The entertainment of it, the community on Discord, just the ceremony that you're going to be holding today, just well done. It made the game a lot more fun, and I'm excited to see this community get more and more involved. There's so much that we can talk about. Coming out later this week is an interview I'm going to be having with Antibug, aka Tourney, the owner of Tika, the winner of the Gen 1 tournament. And so highlighting on Tika once more, we're going to be talking to Tourney about his strategy of how did he go about this, what was his adaptations, what was he seeing in this, and then also we want to take a step back and talk to him about what is his view of this game as a whole. I've said from the beginning that I don't feel like this is a game. I feel like it's more of a sport. With these Gen 1 tournaments, with other people like this, it seems like there's more and more players here that are seeing this the same. So I get really excited about the future of what this space can do. Yeah, and I'm going to continue to do my research on this breeding. I'll keep you guys posted on what I find. But the last thing I just want to say is it's been really cool how much support you guys have all been giving myself and Mark. We did a little live stream during the tournament. We got some good engagement with people. We're learning. This is the first time we've ever done this stuff. So we just wanted to do our part to help and push the community forward in the way that you guys just help us out. The conversations I have on the side, it's just awesome. So thank you to everybody that's helping us with this. It motivates us to keep doing these things, and I'm just excited to see this space grow. So thanks, guys. I'll be talking to you again on, most likely it's going to be Friday. So sometime this weekend, I hope to get everything edited, and just stay tuned.